Good morning. It's good to be together. I think particularly this week, I'm sure we've all had quite a week, lots of questions, lots of uncertainty, but it does feel good to be together. And I wanted to talk to you this morning a little bit about what we're doing in relation to coronavirus and all of that stuff that's going on. So I don't know if we can have the PowerPoint up. There we go. The coronavirus. I can't see it down here, but there we go. Oh, there we go. So, I think it's helpful for us to try and communicate what's going on and where we're up to. So I want to talk firstly about what are we doing as a church, as a leadership team, as an administration team. What are the things that we're doing? And then we'll talk a little bit about, well, what can you do? And so the first thing we're doing is we're planning to stream gatherings from next Sunday. Obviously, we don't know what this is going to look like over the coming weeks, but we've put stuff in place, and we're putting stuff in place so from next Sunday, our services will be being streamed online. So if you can't be here, if you're self-isolating, if it's wiser for you to not be here, then you can still access, take part, join in with what we're doing online, and our services will be being streamed live. So, second thing we're doing, we're exploring how can we create a virtual prayer room. Can we create this space online, whereas members of the church, we can gather at whatever point through the day, bring our prayer requests, meet virtually with other people, pray together about what's going on. And so we're looking at how we achieve that, but that feels like that would be a good idea. We're also looking at exploring virtual options for small groups, because obviously small groups is a really key part of staying connected and joining in, and this is where we look after each other, this is where we support each other. I hope that that's what we're going to be doing in our small groups, but it might not always be possible to meet with everybody there. So we're looking at, can we create some virtual options where you can connect online and share that space together, which is just for you and your small group. And we're also, whilst we have to be careful about how we meet, we have to manage these sorts of situations, it seems really important to us that the gateway remains open whilst it can. This is a place where the neediest in society, the marginalised, can get help. This is where they get community. This is where they can get support. This is where they can get food parcels from. This is where they can get someone who's going to listen, help them, connect them into services. So it seems really important to us, probably more than ever, that the gateway is kept open and the projects are kept going, and we're able to connect and support those who are in need at this time. So that's what we're endeavouring to do. And there are a lot of people here. If you've never been down here in the week, there's a lot of stuff that goes on down here, so we're trying to keep that stuff going. So those are the key things that we're doing. So what can you do? So firstly, pray. And pray for all the things that are going on here. Pray for each other. Pray for our community. Let our response, our instinctive response at this point, not be one of worry, but be one of intercession. For our community and for everything that's going on, for our leaders, for our government, for our health services, for all our frontline services. Let's be praying for those people who are making difficult decisions at this point. Small groups. Connect into your small groups. Keep communicating with your small group leader. Let them know if you have needs, if your situation's changing, if you need to self-isolate, let them know. And as small groups, figure out how we can help each other at this point. If you're not in a small group and would like to be in a small group, now might be a really good time. It's good to have that little connection. So there will be some people at the back who are going to be taking details, and those are the same people you can chat to about if you want to be in a small group. They can make sure we've got your details on that, and we'll do what we can to get that sorted. Stay in touch with us. So we will have some people at the back at the end of the service who are taking your details. If we haven't got your details, or if you haven't signed the GDPR thing or whatever, we can't email you. And email is how we're communicating through this crisis and through this situation, which is rapidly changing. So we will be keeping you updated via email. That is our mode of communication. Check your junk folders and prioritize emails so they come into your main folder. But if you haven't given us your details so we can do that, please sign up at the back. We'll have some people who can take those details from you so you can stay connected with what's going on, when we're meeting, how you can participate, how you can join in. So stay in touch and stay connected with us. Love and help your neighbours. We're not just church when we're here on a Sunday, we're church wherever we are. And the Church of Yeovil is across Yeovil and the villages and beyond. So you are the expression of the body of Christ where you live. So love and help your neighbours around you. We'll be emailing out tomorrow. There's that email thing again. We'll be emailing out tomorrow a lot of this information, but within that will be a text that you can print off, you can edit and you can print off, and you can put a little note through all your neighbours' doors saying, this is who I am. If you need anything, let us know. Stay connected. Let's be people who love in our neighbourhood. Give. It's really important that we are able to prioritise giving at this point. Our response in a crisis should be one of generosity, not one where we shrink back. The food bank, I was chatting to Matt, who runs the food bank, on Friday. We have seen demand for the food bank over the last couple of days double. Where we would normally have 10 parcels a day going out, we had 22 parcels go out on Friday. So we've seen demand double because this is the sort of situation that puts people in crisis. This is the sort of situation where people are on 0-hour contracts who suddenly don't get any work. People who are running a small business right close to the edge and suddenly all their business drops off. These are the sorts of situations where the food bank becomes increasingly essential for people to survive. What's also interesting is, for reasons that we can all imagine, donations to the food bank have dropped this week. So as a church, let's respond to that. As a church, let's think, when we're going out, doing our shopping, should there be anything left, buy a little bit more and bring it to the food bank so we can get it to the people who need it most. So give, and the food bank is a key way that we can give at the moment. But we can also giving to the work of YCC, because this work needs to carry on. And we don't know what the financial challenges are going to be about that. We don't know how many bookings will get cancelled or how quiet the coffee shop will be or whatever, but we have a staff of 27 here, all working hard to make sure the needs in our community are met. So there's various ways we can give. Standing orders, as the bowls go around, there's always standing order forms within that and giving envelopes within that. But take one of those. If you haven't set up your standing order yet, now would be a really good time to do that. If you give when you're here, and you don't always give when you're not here, well, the reality is that we might not be here as often. So think about that. How are you going to give? So standing order be a good way. Also, if you've got your phones, download the Gift app. Because if you're engaging with us online, you can gift via the Gift app. When you're doing that, you can give via the Gift app at any point through the week, not just when there's a basket going around in front of you. So we would encourage you to download that app so you're prepared and you're able to continue your giving. Because those of us whose financial situations aren't changed might need to be more courageous in our giving so we can help those who are. Be kind and share. Good principles for us to live by. The other thing that you can do, and we can all do, is take care of yourself. We need to take care of ourselves. And here's a few ways we can do that. With our spiritual well-being, pray. We might have a bit more time in our hands. So let's not fill it with social media and whatever else. Pray. Find new rhythms of prayer. Take the opportunity to pray. And not just pray all the things that we might be worried about. Spend some time with Jesus, just listening to what it is he's got to say. Spend some time praying and worshipping. Put on worship music, or however you like to worship, spend some time worshipping. Study the Bible, perhaps, or study the book of the Bible. And kind of go, this is what I'm going to do over these next few days, where I've got a bit more time on my hands. Take some time to study a book of the Bible, or do a devotional. Listen to some podcasts, and we will be sending out some recommendations around that too. Read that book that you've been meaning to get to, and you haven't got to yet. Or take time to notice the creation around you. Take care of your soul. Spend time with God. Take care of your emotional and mental well-being. Try not to worry. I know that's easier to say than it is to do, but one thing you could do is restrict the amount of time you spend watching the news, looking at social media, updating yourself on all the things that are going on, because it just increases our anxiety. The more we fill ourselves with this stuff, not saying don't keep up to date with what's going on, do that. Just manage your time with how you do that. And recognize when you feel your anxiety rising. Create space. Create space for God. Create space in your routine. Dare to relax from time to time. Don't fill your life with lists of jobs and things that need doing. Create something. Creativity is a great way of managing our emotional and mental well-being. Start a new hobby, learn a new skill, learn a new language. What are those things that you've always wanted to do and you've never had the time to do? It just might be that now we have the time to do it. And take care of yourself with your social well-being. Connect with family and friends. Play board games, hang out together, watch movies together. Phone people. That thing you've got in your hands, kids, that also will call people and you can speak to them. It's a crazy thing. So try it. Call people. Connect with your small group and look after each other. Pop down to the gateway. We're going to try and keep this place open. If you need to get out and you need to connect, there'll be people here who can talk, who can listen, who can chat about stuff, who can be around. There's going to be stuff going on here you can get involved with. Connect online with everything that we're doing. Virtual prayer room, all that sort of stuff that we're looking at setting up. Maybe write some letters to people. Connect with people. Connect with each other. And finally, allow people to help and love you. Some of us are so good at helping everybody else. And the thing we find the hardest is allowing people to help us. The thing we find the hardest is admitting that we might need a bit of help, that we might need a bit of support. And so we love getting ourselves busy and helping everyone else. Sometimes it's good to allow people to help and love you. Maybe for those of you who are sitting there like quite awkwardly at the moment, try that a little bit over these coming days. Don't just be the person who helps everyone else. Allow people to help you too. This is a rapidly changing situation, and we are doing our best. You might not agree with every decision we make, but we're doing our best. And we'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to hear your ideas about other things that we can do. Also bear that in mind, not just for us, but for your employers, for your school head teachers, for your doctors, for our government. Let's have a lot of grace for people at the moment as they're handling situations that they really don't know how to handle. Let's be kind. Let's be generous. And let's look like Jesus as we handle this situation together. Amen? All right. Thank you, everybody.